What's up everyone, my name is Marvin and today I'm doing a review of this Ibanez FRIX7FEAH, also pronounced FRIX7FEAH. This is a 2019 model I have here in my hands that I purchased from Guitar Center used. The specs are different based off the year that you get. For the 2019 model, they added the luminescent side dots and the neck material is actually different. Instead of maple and babinga, it's maple and purple heart. It's the only guitar I think I've ever seen with purple heart in it. I don't know what difference that makes, but just figured you should know. The body is also different in this one. This one is a Nayato body with an ash top, which when I bought it, I thought it was all ash, but it is not. So to go through the specs really quick, you've got Goto locking tuners and you've got a 3-piece maple and purple heart neck. It's flanked by an ebony fretboard and 24 jumbo frets. It has the luminescent side dots for the 2019 model here in my hands. Scale length is 25.5-inch scale, pretty standard Ibanez fare. And it's got a Gibraltar 2 bridge, which I actually really like. Features 2 EMG 707 pickups, which I also really like. 1 volume, a 3-way switch, and it does come with a kill switch. I actually swapped out the other switch it had, which was a typical toggle switch. I prefer the button kill switches, and this one is actually an LED kill switch, so just kind of cool. And that's pretty much it. You got your standard stuff on the back. So I have a lot to say about this particular 7-string. I remember when it came out, or when Ibanez announced it, and I got so excited because I absolutely love the body shape. I think it just looks really nice. It's a very interesting take on the Telecaster shape, which is tried and true, but with Ibanez's own little twist on it. I think the binding on this guitar makes it look really classy, and it just, I don't know, it just works so well. Even though I don't have a lot of guitars with binding, binding is one of those things that I've always loved, and I always thought it just made a guitar a little bit more premium because you don't really see it on guitars that much. And fun fact, the very first Ibanez I ever bought for myself came with binding, so maybe that's why I'm spoiled by binding. I just always loved it. I always thought it looked really nice. And on this guitar with this shape and with the appointments Ibanez chose to put on it, it just looks really good. It's kind of hard to describe the color of the body because it's kind of green in a way. It's kind of a grayish green color. If you look at pictures online, it makes the guitar look gray. It's not gray. It's like a really dark grayish green. I'm gonna see if my light can pick that up. I don't know if that's coming up looking gray. In the camera over there, it looks like it's coming up gray, but believe me, it's like a really dark green. And if you want to contrast the color, here's black, which the back is absolutely black. Black, black, blackety black. But here, it's like a very dark green. You could probably see the difference in the color from the pickups and that, you know, it's green. Just believe me, it's a dark green. So I'm gonna talk about things I like and dislike about this guitar. I've only had it for, I think, 2 months. Haven't had it for that long. So it's still fairly new in my hands. So one thing I just remembered that I didn't mention in the specs is that this neck is a Nitro Wizard 7 neck. It's a little embarrassing to say as an Ibanez fan that I don't know every little detail about the necks. You would think I know with all the Ibanez guitars I've played, but I don't. But from what I've been able to piece together from Googling online, the Nitro Wizard neck is kind of a thicker, fatter kind of neck compared to like your traditional Wizard and Wizard 2, Wizard 3. Apparently, as you go up in the number, it gains a little bit in thickness. So like the Wizard would be the thinnest, Wizard 2 is a little bit thicker, Wizard 3 is even more thicker, but not thick. This one is a lot thicker than I am used to, and I think it's the only thing that I don't like about this guitar. I'm assuming that Ibanez decided to go with a thicker neck with this construction because of the shape, so it's a little more classic minded. It's not necessarily that the neck is uncomfortable or too thick where it's unplayable. I'm just not used to that on an Ibanez, especially considering all the other 7-string Ibanezes that I've had, like my Glaive that has a Wizard 2 neck, I believe. The Iceman I have has a Wizard 3. They basically have very fast, thin playing necks, and they're super comfortable for that. This one stands out and reminds me a lot more of an old Ibanez Iceman, the IC507. That neck is way bigger than this one, but this one to me is more similar to that neck than the modern Ibanez necks that you're probably familiar with. So keep that in mind if you're planning on buying this. Another thing that I'm not the biggest fan of on this guitar is the neck dive. It's not the worst, but it is noticeable. I'll just show you real quick. Okay, so neck dive test. I don't know why it did it so bad there. It usually doesn't fall that bad. It's usually like, yeah, about like that. Like a little steady. I guess it depends on how you're standing with it, maybe the type of strap that you're using. I'm just using a regular DiMarzio clip lock strap lock. So this kind of setup was something I complained about a lot with my Ibanez Iceman ICT B721 video. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. The neck dive on that one was a little more annoying because no matter what you did, the neck always pulled down. It wasn't much of a bevel where you can kind of anchor your arm to the body to hold it down comfortably. You could still do it, but it's more of an edge that you're resting your arm on, which I guess is just, it's a different level of comfort for every person. But me, I prefer the bevel. It's similar to all the RGs and pretty much every other guitar that I have. They all have some type of bevel like this. So the neck dive on this one doesn't bother me as much. This is also a really light guitar, so I don't know, it's just not bothered by it as much. It seems when I'm standing with it, it stays where it needs to be. And yeah, if I go like this, oh my god, oh look, see, didn't even fall. But it seems that if I just move my arms, it just fits my body better than that Iceman. So I'm not gonna knock it completely for neck dive, but another thing you should note. Otherwise, that's pretty much the only negatives I can think of this guitar. I don't know what they retailed for when they first came out, but personally, I think I overpaid for this guitar. I guess it's just my turn to do that because I've been finding some killer deals on most of the used gear that I buy. Just to be transparent, I paid $1,100 for this guitar. Again, I think I may have overpaid just because of what I've seen on the used market for $1,100 and the amount of guitar and features and stuff that I know that I can get. The main reason I was willing to do it is because it's very difficult to find this guitar. They have another version of it, but it doesn't have the EMG 707s or the active housing spacing. It has the passive mount pickup spacing, and it's gonna sound dumb, but I had intention to swap these pickups out for some Fishman Fluent Stephen Carpenter pickups. And those pickups only come in active housing, so there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm not about to buy a guitar and get it routed so that I can put those pickups in. No, absolutely not. And it's funny too because after I bought this guitar and after the return period passed, I started finding these all over the used market. I found like 3 of them in my area for like $750, $800. So I'm gonna assume the guitar is worth around that price. Maybe brand new it sold for $1,000, $1,100, I have no idea, but I'll do the research later. But I also feel like I overpaid because this guitar had a plethora of issues when I bought it. Again, it was used online from Guitar Center, and I had actually called Guitar Center to find out about the condition of the guitar. They said it was in semi-rough shape, mostly that it was dirty and that it needed a setup, but nothing that couldn't be saved. So unfortunately, I didn't do an unboxing video because I was just too excited. I just ripped it open, and yeah, it definitely needed a setup. The neck was like forward really bad. Strings were super high, super unplayable action. It was really dirty. It was full of all this like body dirt and skin dirt and sweat dirt. If you play guitar, you know exactly the kind of dirt I'm talking about. It's like that brown stuff that, you know, you lick your thumb and you rub it and it goes away. That kind of dirt. Kind of gross, but whatever. Annoyingly, the bridge pickup actually didn't work when I bought the guitar, so I thought it was the battery. Battery was fine. I thought it was the pickup switch. Pickup switch was fine. I actually swapped it out, finding out that it wasn't the switch. I thought maybe the switch was just dead. Turns out the battery cable, the red cable, was just ever so slightly disconnected from the rest of the circuit, specifically for the bridge, and when I fixed that, instantly turned on. So I'm sorry I'm kind of going all over the place with this review. I'm doing everything off the top of my head, as I do with most of my videos anyway, so whatever. Let's get to the sound. So I'm just gonna play through a collection of sounds using my EVH5153 EL34 50 watt amp. It's only 3 positions, volume, very simple, so there's not much that you need to hear, but you will hear how big this guitar sounds. Let me know what you think after these demos. I hope you enjoyed those clips. I'm sure that you can hear that these pickups sound massive. This guitar sounds massive. It's a very odd sound. I'm not used to it because I'm always playing pickups that are more tight and aggressive and more modern, you could call it. And it kind of sucks because EMG tends to get a lot of hate online for some reason. These EMGs sound phenomenal. I absolutely love them. And I'm kind of sad to actually swap them out for the Stephen Carpenter pickups. Don't judge me for this. I'm only swapping them out for the aesthetic of the Fishmans. So those Stephen Carpenters have a line that glows in the dark in the middle. I know this is gonna sound dumb, but I only wanted those pickups in this guitar because I want the green glow in the dark line to match the greenish color of the guitar, to match the green kill switch that I have here, and the green luminescent side dots. So it is all vanity. I'm sure those pickups are gonna sound good anyway. I may do a comparison with the 707s and the Carpenters, so if I do, I'll put a link in here somewhere. But yeah, these 707s sound fantastic. They're a very big, chunky sound, but they're still tight enough where the low end is controlled in a nice way. And the high end, I don't think is piercing or annoyingly it's not hitting frequencies that are bothersome, if that makes sense. I think a guitar like this is better where there is one guitar player in a heavy metal band where their sound can afford to take up more sonic space and stand out amongst the crowd. Like Deftones, for example, where Stephen Carpenter is the main guitarist, and I know Chino plays guitar too, but it's his guitar sound that creates that big wall of sound, and it's not necessarily a tight sound. You could even think of how the dynamic of Korn works, where their sound isn't exactly a really tight sound, it's more loose and just a big wall of sound, and it just has so much power and girth and just, it's just good, you know what I mean? It's just a really good, thick sound. I'm not sure how these EMGs fare compared to other EMG 7-string pickups, as I haven't played too many EMG 7-string pickups. I've mostly played the 6 strings and 1 8-string set. But I don't know, I think the hate is unwarranted. These pickups sound phenomenal. I'm not even gonna sell them. I'm gonna see if I can get another 7-string and put them in that, because I really, really, really like the sound of these pickups. And honestly, they look really good in this guitar too. I mean, anyone that says otherwise, I don't know, tell them the kick rocks, because they sound good, they look good. Everything about this guitar is just great. I wish I had gotten it in better condition, and I wish I paid less, but I'm not unhappy about my purchase of this Ibanez FRIX7FEAH. And it's, I don't know, it's just a good guitar. I'm really excited to see what the Carpenters will sound like in this guitar, and who knows, maybe I won't like them. But I've had those pickups before in a 6-string when they had the, when they first made the Carpenter set that had a 6-string set, and it was limited to 50 people. I had one of them. I think I had number 24, and I sold it. Because of course I did. And lo and behold, now they even have the 6-string set. Whatever, I'm going off on a tangent. Whole point, this guitar is great. Just be mindful of the slight neck dive and the thicker neck shape, which may actually suit you better. Otherwise, I think it's a knockout. If you can find one of these for around $700 or $800, I think it's worth it. You might want to change the pickups. I think the pickups are absolutely perfectly just fine. I mean that sincerely. I really, really like them. Remember, I'm only changing them for the aesthetic. I'm not changing it for the sound. I love the way they sound. So yeah, please remember that. Otherwise, it's a great instrument. I just love it. I love the look. I love the feel, even though this neck isn't my favorite, but as I started playing it more and more, time and time, it just, you get used to it. You know, I think any instrument is like that. I love the sound so much that I can overcome the neck to just play it and sound good. I wish Ibanez would re-release another like FR shape, because I think they completely abandoned it and they're probably not gonna bring it back, probably low sales. I don't know. I don't know all the specifics, all the details, but if Ibanez brings this back and makes one with a thinner neck, then I'd probably go and buy that and sell this one to fund that one. You get the point. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like and leave a comment on what you thought about this Ibanez FRIX7FEAH. Subscribe for more content. Take care, stay safe, and have a great day.